How do I submit my spoken word poetry to the Grammys? Cuckoo! What up, folks? It's your boy Sekou Andrews, and this is my follow-up video to the IG Live Q&A, Ask Me Anything about submitting your spoken word poetry to the Grammys that I did recently. You guys DM'd me questions, you asked me questions on the IG Live, and I was a mess on that IG Live. My back had been jacked up, my sleep was off, I had just woken up, I hadn't done my homework, my research, and all that. But you know, I'm a businessman, I'm about my business, so I did my homework now. I got your answers, let's get into it. First question came from Quince the Rebel. How do I submit my spoken word poetry album to the Grammys? Jamar Smiley also asked a similar question. What's the process, qualifications for submitting an album for consideration? So the simple answer is I want you guys to refer to the links that I put in the caption. I have put a whole bunch of links as resources to all of the information that you need in the caption. You have the complete rules around submission. You have online entry process links. You have links to FAQs for the Grammy page. You have a YouTube video on how to submit your music to the Grammys, et cetera, et cetera. So make sure that you are checking all those links in the caption, and that will give you all the full information. Make sure you watch the rest of this video for some quick answers to things that you asked. Boom. Next question. Erica Yvette asked, what would qualify an album for a Grammy nomination? All right, so this one I'm actually going to read directly from the official source so that I make sure that you have the exact information, that you hear what qualifies for a Grammy nominated spoken word poetry album. Screening criteria. This category recognizes excellence in spoken work poetry albums. I don't know if that's supposed to be work or word. Spoken word or spoken word poetry is an oral poetic performance art that refers to the poem as well as the performer's aesthetic qualities such as intonation, vocal inflections, rhythmic cadence, and musicality. Albums of spoken word poetry with or without music collaboration or accompaniment are eligible. Let me say that again. Albums of spoken word poetry with or without music collaboration or accompaniment are eligible. If the recording has musical accompaniment but is primarily spoken word, the spoken word artist would be eligible, while the music accompanist may be identified in parentheses. That's important to know and to make sure that whoever is accompanying you knows as well, because there are lots of questions around if it's not my album, but I'm on it. Do I actually win the Grammy? Do I get to claim that I'm Grammy nominated, et cetera, et cetera? So make sure that you guys are paying attention to those rules very carefully. All right, second section of this. Recordings that feature song lyrics that are spoken or rapped are eligible in the appropriate genre categories. What that means is if you are just saying that if you are a rock artist on a rock song and you are just speaking the lyrics to your song, you are not qualified for spoken word poetry. You would be qualified to submit that song or album in your category, your rock category, right? Same thing with hip hop. If you're just saying your hip hop lyrics and you just, speaking it over the beat or whatever, or not over a beat or whatever, that would qualify you in the rap category, not the spoken word poetry category. Incidental talk or conversation in a studio used as an accent to a musical recording does not constitute a spoken word poetry performance. Oh, there's more. Other qualifications. The project must be a new recording within the past 5 years. However, make sure you check the rules because there are some exceptions to that for things like re-releases, greatest hits albums, et cetera, et cetera. Must be previously unreleased project. However, check the rules because there's some exceptions to that. It can include a certain percentage of previously released material. Also, I'm still making sure that I have current info on like the number of minutes and the number of tracks that the album has to be considered an album, as well as what percentage of it has to be spoken word poetry to be eligible for that category. So rules have changed. I'm still trying to track down that current information. Stay tuned for that. But for the most part, just make sure that most of the album is spoken word poetry. Like over 50% of the album has to be you doing spoken word poetry, not, 10 minutes of you doing poetry and 40 minutes of music. All right. Also, in the live, I mentioned that your album could be released after the submission deadline, meaning you can submit the album, but if it's not finished going through the process of uploading it and being released to the public, there's a window of a few days to a week that you have. I'm not sure if that's true this year. I know that was true in prior years. I'm not sure if that's true this year. I'm still trying to track down that information as well. So check your submission documents and links that I'm sending you. Email the Academy for those questions if you need the answer to them before I get back to you on that. Otherwise, stay tuned. Back to what I do know. Erica also asked, are albums with a live concept to it preferred over an engineered one recorded in the studio? No. No, there is no preference or requirement in general as far as the Academy is concerned. You know, for me personally, and I think the spoken word poetry feels this in general, just put your best foot forward, right? Submit an album that you think is Grammy worthy as a representation of our art form. I personally think that albums that pair spoken word poetry with music done in a very, very mindful way, I think are dope. I think they make for amazing Grammy quality albums, but it doesn't have to be. It could be an a cappella album of just your spoken word poetry. Just make sure that the recording quality is high. Make sure that you are just not submitting something that sounds bootleg and it's not a representation of the power of our art form. All right. We want to make sure that we're competing with the best of the best in our Academy. This information must be really important because I feel like the heavens are shining on me like, oh. Jamar asks, do you have to be a member of the Academy to get nominated for a Grammy? The answer is no, not at all. But if you are not a member, you do have to have a member submit your album for you. All right, so I'm gonna say that again. If you are not a member of the Recording Academy, you must ask a member of the Recording Academy to submit your album for you. And there's no list of members, right? That's the other question. Well, how do I find a member? How do I know if there's a member? There is no national list of members. So you just gotta start asking around your spoken word poetry community and maybe even start searching online. Luckily, we have been doing a massive campaigns and advocacy to get more poets represented by the Academy. We just got a big new stable of poets added to the Recording Academy membership list this year. A lot of them posted on social media, you know, saying I'm a member now, celebrating the fact that they're a member. So search on social media, see if you find some of those poets, DM them, reach out personally, just ask them. Oh, and poets, if you get asked and you are a member, help folks out. All right, I know it's a little time consuming for you to have to schedule a time to upload and submit people's albums, but this is how we make sure that we getting voted on by our peers. Another question, how many submissions does a member get? How many submissions per member? You get 5 courtesy submissions as a member. Then there are fees charged after that. So 5 for free, 5 for free. Say it with me, 5 for free. Is there a fee to submit? So no, not for the first 5 submissions, because you get what? 5 for free. But after that, then you do start getting charged fees. I believe the fee is $40 up until June 31st. After that, it goes up to $75 per submission up until August 22nd. And then after that, it jumps up to $125 per submission up until August 30th. And then after that, well, you're too late because submissions are done August 30th. So don't be late. Who pays the submission fee? Well, the member pays a submission fee, but come here. Let me holler at you. If the member submitted your album for you for the Grammys and they got charged a submission fee, who needs to pay the fee? Come on now. Who needs to pay the fee? Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, wire transfer, cash, or even check. Pay your member back with a check. I know you Gen Z folks are like, what's a check? That's a payment that you write out by hand. What's writing? That's when you put pen to paper. What's paper? All right, let's get back to it. Next question. AK Tony asks, what up, AK Tony? Asks, when a spoken word poet is submitting to the Grammys and they are not members of the Recording Academy, so it was submitted through a member, is this a way of vetting or vouching for that poet to become a member of the Recording Academy and have acceptance into the pool of other poets submitting? So if I understand that question correctly, AK, I think you're asking is, if I submit your album, is that also a way of vetting you as to become a member? And the answer is no. Membership and submission are completely different processes. The acceptance qualifications are completely separate. You can just remember, you can submit an album to be nominated for a Grammy and not be a member. Okay? It's just important to get your language right. Let me just stop and say that. Get your language right, poets. Because I have definitely heard a lot of people talk about, oh, I got nominated when all they did was submit. No, you didn't get nominated. You submitted your album. And I know that can be confusing because sometimes when you are submitting something to be nominated, you have to be nominated by someone else. And since you have to have a member that submits you, it kind of feels like you're getting a member that is nominating you to, no, it might be confusing. but get your language right. Submitting is not nominated. Submitting is not membership. Membership is not nomination or winning, right? Make sure you got that language correct. Okay, Corey Kofer asks, does sampled music need to be cleared before submitting? Okay. This is when I gotta put on my lawyer hat. I am not an attorney. Please consult your legal representative for all legal advice. The short answer is yes, right? If you look at the authorized recording sections on page 10 of the guidelines, it says recordings must be non-infringing original works of authorship. What that means is that if it is contested, the Academy will consider the allegations and they will determine whether or not you are eligible or not for the Grammy, right? And if it's not contested, then it's just kind of like how it is with samples. You take your chances when you're not clearing samples. So I would strongly suggest that you just make sure your album is legally tied up. All the legalities, all the permissions, all the authorizations that you have, that you need, you have. Because what a shame it would be to have somebody snatch your Grammy nomination away from you on stage while you're giving your acceptance speech. I'm just kidding. I don't think they would do that. I think they would wait. They would at least wait, right? They would wait. So maybe not on stage, but after you get your Grammy taken away. I don't even know if that's how it works. They may not actually snatch. I don't know if people show up to your house, and tie you up and say, "Where's the Grammy? Where's the Grammy?" I don't know if that's how it works, but something might happen. So try to make sure your samples are clear, all right? And one of the last questions is, what does a healthy Grammy category look like? It's a great question from Jamar. We talk about the need for you all to submit your albums because we have to make sure that this remains a healthy category. That means we have to have a lot of people submitted albums, because if they look up and go, we only got a certain number of albums submitted this year, doesn't seem like anybody's interested in this category, doesn't seem like there's a lot of musicians out there that are recording works inside of this category, we're going to cancel the category and create a category for people that are submitting albums. So poets, we need you to submit your albums, please. Okay, so that we can maintain a healthy category. Just think about it like 100 submissions or more, right? 100 submissions or more usually means that our category is healthy. There are some categories like the major, some massive categories, best new artist, whatever, like they have like 400, 500 submissions, All we got to do is have 100 submissions, 100 poets that are out there recording projects and submitting it for music's greatest honor. Get out there and submit, please, because we want to make sure that we are looking at that list and seeing that, oh my God, all poets from all parts of the planet are out here submitting spoken word poetry albums. All right, I think that's it. Hopefully that answers your questions. I will be doing more upcoming Instagram live Q&As, ask me anythings. Some of the ones that I will be doing, I'll go over some more of this information for people that missed this and people that missed the last IG Live. But I'll also be talking about campaigning, the rules and the strategies and the expectations around once you have submitted your album, how to make sure that you are campaigning and bringing awareness to your album, as well as an IG Live about membership as well. I know you guys were asking me a lot of membership questions, and I wanted to keep this one focused on submitting, since the deadlines are coming up for submitting. Keep in mind, though, that deadline is August 30th of 2024. You need to make sure that your album is completely submitted and uploaded. So go to the links that I put into the caption and make sure that you are having a member submit your album if you are not a member already. Other deadlines to pay attention to: first round of voting begins October 4th and ends October 15th. Of 2024. Nominations are announced on Friday, November 8th of 2024. It's an exciting day. So make sure you up early in the morning to hear if you got nominated or if your homies got nominated. And the actual 67th annual Grammy ceremony is on February 2nd, 2025 in Los Angeles. Oh, and don't forget, Spoken Word Poets now have an official Grammy night after party that I put on with some partners for our community. It is called Afterwords. And it is the official Sekou and Steve and Celeste official after party on Grammy night for the spoken word community. So if you are going to be in LA, make sure that you holler so you can get on the list to join us and celebrate our artists and our music in our category. Otherwise, hope this has been helpful. Make sure that you check the resources. I have resources in the caption. You should see a link around the complete rules around submission. You see another link for online entry process. You'll see another link that is Grammy FAQs for registration and online entry. You'll see another link that is a YouTube video, how to submit your music for the 2024 Grammys. It breaks it all down. It's about an hour long, but it's definitely worth watching. And then also included a link to a cool blog. I always like to make sure that I'm sharing, resources for our spoken word community, so that we just are making sure that we're collaborating, partnering, and teaming up to make sure we all have the right information. And so there's a cool blog by Alexandria Davis called The Poets List, and she breaks down the process on there as well. And then if you still have more questions, then you can email the Academy at awards@grammy.com. awards@grammy.com. All right. Hopefully that takes care of you. Stay tuned. Make sure that you're following me. Make sure that you are subscribing if you are watching this on YouTube, and liking it. Make sure that you are following me, and may our algorithms cause us to meet again and get you the information that you need for the next phase of this. Super excited to make sure we have a healthy spoken word poetry category this year. Super excited to celebrate all of the 5 nominees that will be announced in November. Super excited to celebrate the winner of this Best Spoken Word Poetry Album Grammy category this year. Super excited to support all of you in what you need to become a part of the Academy and this process. All right? Appreciate you. Peace.